Have you felt like the walls are closing in around you? Or maybe you took a test and you didn't do quite as well on the test as you thought you had? Or maybe you were in class and you can't focus and you become overwhelmed. Well, I've felt that stress before. And for some people, it's just a minor inconvenience and they're just really good at managing stress as compared to others. And for others, the stress is just paralyzing. We have to work to manage our stress levels and improve our overall health. According to mondaycampaigns.org, the health benefits of reducing stress, quote, besides alleviating internal tension, lower stress levels will protect your health in the long term, end quote. That means it's going to lead to better sleep, lower blood pressure, improved digestion, reduced muscle tension, and a boosted immune system, just for starters. In my experience and research, I have found that lower stress levels lead to a better quality of life and improved health for the long term. We should look at our lives and acknowledge the stress factors that exist and work to manage them. We should acknowledge and evaluate toxicity as it is in our lives and work to manage it or get rid of it completely. Now imagine it's a Friday afternoon, you're about to be off of work, your boss comes with a big stack of files, drops it on your desk and says, I need this done by the weekend. Well, the problem is, you already have dinner plans for Friday evening, and you've made plans all weekend with your significant other. So you're at a crossroads here. Do we get the work done, or do we continue with our plans? This is an unnecessary stress because you're having to choose between family or work. And while this is not the most uncommon situation, the effects aren't just as simple as working overtime or maybe working late. As American adults, we are told to prioritize our professional lives and making money over our individual health. And generally, we don't focus on our health until it becomes an issue. To put that in perspective, according to the 2020 Employment Characteristics of Families released by the Department of Labor, 92.3% of fathers with children under 18 are working. 71.2% of mothers with children under 18 are working. It's very probable that these parents have been faced with the same decision and same stress that we're discussing today. Maybe you have felt the same stress that we're talking about, and our conversation is just putting it in perspective for you. Now that we see how stress can impact and interfere with our lives, let us re-examine the stress factors in our lives. So, of course, there's the need for money, there's a need for a job, but we have to find a balance between work, stress, and relaxation. Maybe we need to go have a conversation with that boss and let them know it's unprofessional to leave that workload on us on Friday afternoon and expect it to be done by the weekend. Maybe we realize that this job has just become toxic and taken control of our lives completely. We have to manage these stress levels for our health. According to the American Heart Association, quote, managing stress is good for your health and well-being. Negative stress is associated with an increased risk of heart disease and stroke, end quote. Once we can acknowledge that this job has become toxic, this job is increasing our stress levels and taking a toll on our health, we can work to manage and ease the burden of those stresses. Now, I understand making life changes aren't easy. They never are. But I want you to visualize a life without stress. What does a life like that look for you? What would a life like that do for you? And I understand making extreme changes or maybe quitting your job just isn't in the cards, that's completely fine and that's understandable. But there's still room for improvement. We can evaluate our life, look at the stresses involved, and work to manage those stressors. We can look at relationships that we have with people and realize that they become toxic and too taxing, doing more harm than good, and manage those as well. Now, stress is unavoidable, and not all stress is harmful, but also not all stress is necessary. Unnecessary excessive stress leads to health risks such as heart disease and other factors that are going to make your life and your quality of life not as enjoyable. So to combat these health issues, we must take control of our lives and manage these stress levels. I propose everyone look at their lives, look at the stressors, and make the changes that are necessary. Now, my mother died at a very young age, 48 years old, from a heart attack. And she dealt with quite a bit of stress in her lifetime. And I don't want that for you. I want you to live a long, happy, fulfilling life. I want you to take control of your life, manage stress, and make your health a priority.